All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's time for Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that handsome man right there is Roy. Roy, you have our topic for us, but before we get started, please hit the little like, please hit the little subscribe, and please typey, give us a comment. We love to hear from you. Roy, what's our topic of the day?
This is the topic. It's about the Orlando Magics. And
Okay.
this is the topic. Do you feel the Orlando Magics should have retired the number 32 and hang it in the rafters?
Okay. All right. We never got to talk about this. Um,
Do you think he
yeah.
deserved to be in the rafters?
Well, I'll tell you.
He left us like what is it, a date on date night waiting for Uber to come pick us up. He left us for the shining stars of LA and gave them a championship, gave Miami a championship. Who else did he give it? I don't even know who else he gave championships to, but he didn't give it to Orlando Magic when we had the team at the palm of our hands for at least another run.
You're not bitter though, which I like. I think it's funny because if you would have asked me before I looked it up, because when all this retirement stuff, I had mixed feelings. If you would have asked me how long Shaq played with the Magic, what would you have said?
I, I would have thought, man, he played with us, about 8 years, 10 years. He did.
I would have I would have said 7 years.
I know
He
it was the
played
10,
with us.
but I would have said
Yeah,
6, 7, 8.
it was 4 seasons, which blows my mind. Four, right? Now, in those 4 seasons, because I looked it up, I didn't know. I didn't look it up for today, but I just looked it up when they were talking about it. He did make like 8,500 points.
Mhm.
So he was very productive. We had guys that I was saying, oh, what about this guy? And they were with us like 11 years and didn't score 8,500 points. So I was like, okay. Um,
T-Mac didn't score 1,100, that much.
T Mac did score like 8,000 something points, but T Mac was another guy who he feels like he was here for so long because he gave us so many great years. Was only here for 4 years. Was only here for 4 years.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Hold on. Let me check the statistics.
Okay.
He was with Toronto 3,
That's right.
Houston 5. And
Right after us.
Then he jumped around a little bit. Houston, New York, Detroit, Orlando, 4 years.
That's right.
Wow, it felt like he was with us longer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So because of that, and because of one thing that I can say, Shaq put the Orlando Magic on the map.
Stop. What? He put the Orlando Magic on the map. Yeah, for the biggest losers that he went with someone else to go. And
Oh
the
man.
thing, I don't think they should have retired his number. For 4 years, he played with us. Yeah, all-star, yeah, points. Yeah. But one thing would be different. If he was, yeah, I played in LA. Yeah, I went, got my money. I was gonna play with a team I thought was bad. Got it. You were doing whatever you do. You cheated on your wife in LA. You started rap music, was a genie in a movie, whatever the heck you were going to do. But you never gave love to Orlando. You never really, oh, I love the DeVos family and I did Domino's, whatever. And I had my house in Orlando. But man, you never really, in all those years, you never came back and was like, you know what? I love Orlando. Yeah, say a good thing when you were getting your jersey. Why did Orlando want to retire that jersey? What else do they got up there? Right? They got some banners that they haven't had for years. So they want to give some type of, oh, look at this. Look at this. No, what I say is don't put a stinking jersey up there. You know why? Because you're going to put Paulo. You're going to put Franz's jersey up there. We could keep these guys around. You're going to put an NBA title jersey over there. And you know what? Don't put anybody who's been there for 4 years. Give it to somebody who's been a real put a what was the call the coach that was a coach twice. It don't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, put him up there. I don't care. Tie him up and string him up there, but do not put Shaq's.
Now, I think for his longevity with our team, for the significance of when he was picked, and for still being in the community and being a part of our team, I think that they should retire Nick's jersey and put it up there.
I agree. I agree. Now,
He
if
was
they
the first ever pick of the Orlando Magic. He came in, he played well for us for all those years. Was one of our anchors, was here through the Shaq era, and is still one of our color commentators, still in Orlando, still giving love to the city. What more does that man need to do to get his jersey retired?
I agree. I agree. Enough said. I agree. Again, am I mad at them? No. Is it another way to bring notoriety to Orlando? Yes, they made the news. That was the talk of the town, right? So smart marketing. If you say marketing, so what? Put your jersey up there. So what? Have a bobblehead day, whatever. Okay, that gives, we need more of national coverage, right? We
For
need more
good stuff.
the good
For
stuff.
the good stuff, yeah.
So I say yes. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Now, this is a controversial one. Our Dwight Howard was a number one pick as well, took us to the finals as well, was with us 8 years, won 2 defensive player of the year in an Orlando Magic jersey, took us on runs in the playoffs. I know it didn't end amicably, and we can talk about whose fault is that. I think that was more of Van Gundy and him, just not, meshing well. But I mean, and I know he's got his other things going on right now, but we're talking about basketball. Should his jersey be retired for the Magic?
I don't think they're going to retire his jersey, even though I agree with you. He was with us 8 years. Did he go to,
Mm-hmm.
after 8 years? I don't mind. You know what I mean? If you see that, hey, there's better pastures, but really, if you think of his tenure after us, it was downhill.
Oh yeah.
It was downhill and downhill fast. He would have been better off to just stay another 3 years with us, 4 years, which we'd have gave him a contract for that long, and retire. And retire. Now
Yeah.
his legacy is shot.
Yeah, but I mean, we got to remember that at that time, Van Gundy was really militant with how he was treating these guys, and and Dwight's just not his mentality is not like that. He's not the Kobe Bryant killer type of guy. He's a fun loving, I want to be goofy. I want to have a good time while I'm working hard. And you know what? Maybe he's a little sensitive, which is fine. There's dudes that are sensitive. Kevin Durant's a sensitive dude. That's why he answers all the stupid stuff on social media, because he's sensitive. So yeah, but those are the two guys to me, Nick especially, because of his significance in the organization, and Dwight, that I thought they deserved it because they were the two guys who stayed the longest with the Magic as well.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that. If you compare Dwight with Shaq, I mean, you got 10 double the time. Again, he put Orlando on his back, gave him notoriety. That was a big draft.
And I think if you look up Dwight's scoring, I think he scored like 11,000 points for the Magic. He might be our top scorer of all time. Um, even though he's not known as a scorer.
I don't think the Magic are going to do that. Not with all the problems now.
No,
They're
no,
too much being a clean organization.
yeah, and listen, I understand basketball's basketball and personal's personal. There's certain things that cross the boundaries of we're not going to celebrate you as a person. We just can't. You know what I mean? And so, you know, assault is one of those things.
Nick Anderson in games played.
See, look at that.
3-point goals, Dennis Scott. Field goals missed, Nick Anderson. Free throw attempts, Dwight Howard. Defensive rebound, Dwight Howard. Assists, Anderson. Blocks, Howard. Personal fouls, Howard. Interesting. Triple doubles. Who do you think?
It's going to have to be T-Mac.
They're saying 8 triple doubles, if I'm correct in what I'm seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred Payton.
Maybe that's in a season. I know he had one season that he had a whole bunch of triple doubles.
Yeah, this is points per game, Dwight Howard. Assists per game, Scott Skiles. Blocks per game, Shaq. They had some total rebound percentages, Dwight Howard. Steal percentages. And again, these are percentages, Darrell Armstrong. Howard, if you look up here, Howard has a lot of these defensive ratings, high, defensive win shares, high. He's coming up as number 1. He's coming up in a lot of these categories, surprisingly enough. Rebounds per game, he's got it.
So, I mean, listen, I thought I want to make it clear. It's not that I don't think that Shaq's deserving of getting his number retired. He played great for us. What I will say is that I do think that Nick Anderson deserved to be the first person to have his number retired. He was our first draft pick. He was the guy who stayed with our team the longest. You just read it off that he was the leader in games played with the Magic. So that means he stayed the longest and played the most games. I thought it should have been Nick. And then if they wanted to do something, they should have brought in Shaq. But that is not a sexy pick. So I understand. I do think this, though, Roy. Do you think that they retire anybody's number if they didn't just sell the rights, the naming rights? So
what do you mean by that? Because you mean the stadium?
Yes. So it has been, in the Tupperware Center,
The Amway,
excuse me, Amway. It was in the Amway Center forever, right? Because when they bought the team, that was and when they built the new stadium, that was part of the contract. So this year it ended, and now that the rights could be sold off. So now they sold it off, and now it's the Kia Center. Do you think that the Kia Center said, listen, we want to do something so that, the name Kia Center starts getting run out there? We're going to go ahead and retire Shaq's jersey. So when people say, hey, the Shaq's jersey is finally getting retired at the Kia Center, how many times that will be played over and over again? Do you think if that didn't happen, they would have done it?
Well, I think the we're changing the name and the contract, that's all money. The
Hmm.
Voss family was technically paying to name
Hmm.
the Amway Arena, even though the county does not get any of that money. Contractually, it is going to the team. It's not
Right.
going to the county. So I think it was a money thing. I don't think it had anything to do with them. I think what it had to do with everything is where the Orlando Magic are standing, that Paulo was an all-star, and they wanted to keep momentum and all eyes on the Magic. I think that's what it had to do with. And really, when you think about the All-Star break, guess what they were talking a lot about? Paulo, 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 Magic, Magic.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. Keep the heat. It's a funny phrase to say, but
Right.
keep all attention on the Orlando Magic by making headlines. They made the headlines with Shaq, and you saw Penny, and you saw Nick, and you saw all these players coming out, right? And then you talk about Paulo. So I think they were trying to pull that All-Star break buzz towards them. And even the Magic, they were in the trade rumors and all that. They were
Hmm.
talking, oh, what do they do? They get rid of this guy. And what did the Magic do? That's kind of interesting how the Magic do. They kind of just go, no hurry. We're good where we are. We don't need to
Yeah.
make a splash.
Right.
Let's just keep it where we are. One of the younger, stronger teams out there. Look what Detroit has done with their draft picks. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. And look where they put it this way, they're back up to be number one. For me, I think it should be a thing. If you're number one too many times, you don't even get another one. It should be that way. You should get penalized. You like,
Yeah.
man, you stink that bad. No, you need to fire people to get some good picks because they don't got no good picks. It was really not about the arena.
That was just my conspiracy mind working. You know what I mean? Um, well, folks, uh, I want you guys to tell us who's the next jersey in the team that you love that needs to be retired. There's a lot of retired jerseys out there. There's a lot of teams that have retired jerseys. Maybe we'll take a stroll down memory lane one of these days, have a little trivia competition, and see if we can pull the top 5 teams with the most retired jerseys out there. I think I have a good idea of who number 1 and number 2 would be, but the next 3 would be a little bit more difficult. So please hit the subscribe. Please hit the like button. Roy, NBA season is rolling on, and we are going to have to do a live, and maybe we'll do a sneaky live, and we'll go to the Magic game and do it live.
I'm with you. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Everyone, remember, as always, what we say, John.
Talk to a stranger about sports today.
Thank you. Subscribe and like.